we'll start on that today. So with that, time's yours.
Andy, the decision to bring Kareem Hunt up, what have you seen of him, throughout this last time we talked to you that made you say he's ready for the
Yeah, so I thought he had a good week of practice last week. He took the majority of the scout team reps, and looks like he's in pretty good shape. So now the next step is just getting him in the game. So he'll rotate in, and we'll see how he does.
And how do you see that workload getting split up between the
I don't know, Adam. We'll just see how things go. I'll play it by ear with him. We've got 3 good running backs, and so we just get him back into the swing of things. See how it rolls.
Andy, last week did you get much of a chance to get a sense of how up to date he can be with what you're doing? I know he was scout team a lot, so I don't.
Yeah, I feel like his retention was pretty good. So, and this week will help too, just going through it. But he's got a pretty good feel on what we're doing. So.
Andy, what do you like just about the running game has worked so far the first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think first of all, compliments to Heck and the offensive line and the players. I mean, they've done a great job with that, and we've had positive yards, and that's it's a nice addition to everything. In this league, you got to be able to mix things in there, and that gives you a good power run game and still be able to throw the ball.
I know you want to have a great running game anyway, but just with the way the teams have defended you over the past few years, how vital is that to be able to run when you see the boxes that you're seeing?
Yeah, no, that's important. It's important. You always try to keep defenses honest, and they're doing the same thing back to you. So it's a little bit of a cat and mouse game on the number of people in the box, but it's been productive. So we've had good positive yards from it.
Coach, in your game prep, what gives you optimism that Travis, by his standards, will be able to have more production, maybe starting on Sunday?
Yeah, so I know people are saying that he's old or whatever, has distractions and all this, and the defenses don't think that. And so we have another receiver that plays opposite him that has a lot of yards and catches, and that's how this thing goes. So Trav is fine. He just keeps being Trav. He works his tail off, and he hasn't lost a step in all those things. And he's not distracted. That's not the case. People are making sure they have him taken care of by some of these defenses.
He seems to be one of the kind of guys who, listen, he wants targets, he wants to know, but it doesn't really bother him if he knows there's double teams and other things are open. How nice is that to have someone who's not selfish in that way?
Yeah. No, he literally knows. I mean, he does know that, and he collects people. And then you have the checkdowns that we had last week, these big gains off the check. Or Noah standing in the middle of the field by himself, being able to get one-on-one situations. That's a tribute, and Trav knows it. I mean, he literally said, he came off the field and goes, man, just keep dialing him up and let him do that. So.
Any characteristics, you haven't coached against Jim Harbaugh in a while. You just got a few games of him back here in the National Football League. Any same characteristics as before, the way you remember him when he was coaching at San Francisco?
Yeah, first of all, he's a phenomenal football coach. And he's proven that at every level. So, and that'll be no different here with the Chargers. And it's a physical football team. That when you play them, you know that. And on both sides of the ball, special teams, they're going to be sound. They're going to be able to, for everything that's said, they're going to be able to throw the ball as well as they run the ball. So you got to be ready for a complete game. Their defenses are they're going to give you a variety of looks. You got to be on your game when you play their defense. They're one of the top defenses in the NFL right now. So it's a tribute to how they've gone about their business there.
Maybe, I know you obviously like Rashid, you drafted him last year, but are there things about his game maybe you didn't fully appreciate until now? Or
Yeah,
is this the player you envisioned?
Yeah. No, I would tell you, Adam, that we felt he was pretty good when he was here. I believe he led the league in rushing the one year, and so that's pretty good accomplishment. And things worked out the way they worked out. We're glad to have him back.
No, I'm sorry, Rasheed Rice.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rishi. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's all right.
Kareem. Yeah, stuck on Kareem. I know he's coming. I know he's coming in here after me. So Rasheed, yes, he's as good as we were hoping he would be. The thing you don't know, Adam, when you get into this is the work ethic, and he works his tail off. His willingness to get with Pat and to listen. Let's work in this area, to get with Kels and drain Kels of some of his knowledge. And he's very receptive to all that.
Andy, just one other thing about the running game. Obviously, you had some faith in Carson, but to see him do what he did last week, how reassured are you going forward that, okay, that's more established than perhaps you would have thought?
Listen, I thought he did a nice job for his first game. I thought he did a real nice job. And he's got to fix a couple things on protection, but he'll take care of that. And the run game, he was hitting the right holes and working the daylight. He was finishing runs, and he corrected the trying to elbow guys going through with his carry hand, and cleaned that up from the week before. So, but he gives you an honest down, and he's gonna run hard. He's a big kid, but he's gonna come at you.
Coach, with the last three was Steve, Nate, and then Sam. What's Steve?
Coach, with as many close games as like these down to the wire games you've had early on in the season, do you find that to be tough around your guys as opposed to later in the season, or doesn't matter?
I think the guys expect to come into these things playing 4 quarters. When you play good teams, you've got to come in with that mindset. I think we're all seeing the parity in this league is ridiculous. So, I mean, everybody on any given Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever we play, that you're going to get an honest game, and it gives every city an opportunity to have a potential winner, and that's what the league was striving for, and you're seeing it. And so we expect to get the best every Sunday, or every game day.
Andy, when you watch your defense, how much are you noticing that other teams are trying to get their tight ends involved, considering how good you guys have been generating pressure and obviously being at the corner position? Just is there something that you've sort of seen there about tight ends?
Yeah, that's observant, because really the tight end's kind of your quarterback's best friend. Those inside guys that play inside the hash number area, those are real quarterback-friendly guys. So the thing the NFL has right now are some really good tight ends that just aren't blockers, but they can get out and match up with the safeties in this league and nickels. So, our safeties work on that like crazy. Our nickels work on that like crazy. And those are big bodies that you gotta try to leverage. They're normally bigger than what you are on the back end there. So you gotta really be disciplined with it.
Sam?
Patrick mentioned that his fundamentals he thought were off. What's just the process this week of fine-tuning that?
Yeah, so he's very hard on himself about that, and so you just go back and work your basic fundamentals, techniques, and get into a rhythm. So during the game, and work on it in practice. But he's I don't ever worry about him working on those things. So he'll be fine.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Patrick, you know, when you talked about struggling or some things, or not playing up to the standard that you'd expect, sometimes you've harped about going back to your footwork and everything. Over the course of these last couple of weeks, you know, what do you assess in your performance that you feel like you need to work on to get better with, and how do you start that process now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first week there was good things. I thought I was pretty on time and in rhythm. Then last week, I felt like I started off all right, and then kind of got worse as the game went on. And then obviously this last week, I feel like especially in the first half, I was a little out of rhythm, not making throws that I usually make, and got a little bit better in the second half. But now all you can do is go back and practice. I think what I learned, at least from last year, is that it's not always going to pay off like right now, but if you continue to work at it, it will pay off in the long run. And so my hope is that it happens faster than it did last year, but all you can do is get back to work at practice.
Patrick, you obviously work on that stuff every week. Is there something different you do this week because of how last week went?
I think you just have to really emphasize it. Even on like the little throws, sometimes you go through a practice and there's throws that you almost know you're going to complete regardless, and so you kind of just throw them as like completion throws instead of throwing them to the exact accuracy that it needs to be in the game like moment. And so that's going to be what my goal this week is. Even like if you look at that shallow cross, a lot of times in practice you throw it and just right on the guy's body for a completion. I'm gonna work on making sure that I'm leading them in case there would be a guy behind them where he needs to catch the ball and run. And so it's just little things like that. I mean, you take them for granted a lot of times when you're going through these early year practices, but I'm gonna try to make sure that I stay on top of those things.
Patrick, in your eyes, what has allowed Reid to really have an excellent start at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, he's just making plays. I think you've seen that he's been more versatile this year. He's able to run more and more routes. And then the way he's able to catch the ball and make stuff happen after the catch, I mean, he's a hard guy to tackle. And so being able to do both those things, I think it helps that the speed out there is kind of helping spread out the field for him. And then there's a lot of attention on Travis. But, I mean, when he's getting those one-on-one matchups, he's winning. And that's all you can ask for a guy. And he seems like he's getting better and better each and every week.
You mentioned the attention on Travis. How is he handling, I guess, some of this early season adversity and maybe not having as much production as he wants?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's handling it amazing. Honestly, honestly, I feel like I want to get him the ball more, whereas he's just like, I just want to win, man. I don't care. Like, I'll run these routes and take guys with me, so that other guys can get open. But we understand he's an important part of this offense, and we want to make sure that we're still featuring him. But at the same time, if defenses are going to take away him, I have to get the ball to other guys and let them make plays. But as the season goes on, if we continue to show that we're going to throw it to Reid and we're going to throw it to these other guys, they're going to make plays, teams are going to have to do those one-on-one matchups, and that's when Travis will eat.
Patrick, you've known Travis as long as anybody on the team. Do you think that 25-year-old Travis Kelce would be as accepting about not getting the ball as the 35-year-old Travis Kelce?
In all honesty, I think he's always been this guy. I mean, it's been great for me in my career is that he wants to make an impact in the game and he wants to make plays. But he wants to win at the end of the day. And so if we're winning, he's good with going out there and playing hard, blocking, do whatever he can to impact the game. And so whenever we're winning games like this, that's everybody, man. You just want to win at the end of the day. And so he's doing a great job, man, of being a leader on the team, playing hard, doing whatever he can to make an impact in the game. And when you do that in this league, usually good things come. And I'm excited for him to go out there and make an impact receiving the ball as well.
I know he was on the practice squad last week, but just what was it like getting to work again with Kareem and now having him elevated to obviously the active roster and the opportunity to play alongside him on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. I mean, you can see how hungry he is. You can see still the explosiveness. You can see the way he runs the ball between the tackles. I mean, obviously you come in and you haven't had training camp and stuff like that, but he pushed through, man. I mean, he really did. He took that last week as his mini training camp, and he would finish every run, and then run back and get it again. And so I thought we did a great job in the run game last week with the running backs that were there, and so it'd be nice to just add Kareem in there, let him get going, and kind of have another dimension to that run game.
Patrick, can you give an example? Obviously, you'd rather win by more comfortable margins, but I wonder if you think there's some cumulative impact in winning the way you guys have, and if it serves you well as the season goes on.
It definitely makes you more comfortable in those situations. I think more than anything for me, I think just executing at a higher level in the fourth quarter would be nice for the offense, especially. I mean, if you look at that second half last week, I mean, those first few drives in the third quarter, we were moving the ball well, moving it right down the field, and then it's like in the fourth quarter we didn't finish the game. And so that's the next step for us. I mean, if you look back on our history, even in some of these close games, usually when we get the ball in those 4-minute modes, we can kind of run the time off. And if we don't, we leave enough time where Spags and them can close the door. And Spags and them have been doing that, but we've been doing it with a little bit, I would say, too much time, with 5 minutes on the clock and 6 minutes on the clock and stuff like that. And so I think offensively, we got to help the defense out by running some of that time off the clock or scoring a touchdown to kind of put the game out of reach. And so then the defense can be the defense and be Spags and be creative and get those game-ending interceptions instead of having to really hold it down there at the end in the red zone.
Patrick, you've talked about so much attention on Travis. Can you give an example of the Atlanta game from something you saw in film or in the game?
I remember there was a play. I don't know if Coach talked about it, but we did a play action play, and I was going to throw it to Travis. It was kind of the design play, and I remember the linebacker and both safeties were all three looking at Travis in the middle of the field. And I ended up throwing to Noah for like 13 yards, and Noah literally just ran a sit right over the ball in the middle of everybody, and not one person went with him. And I mean, that's the impact that he has in the game. I mean, it helps out other guys. I mean, but it's at the same time, if we show that Noah can catch that 13 to 15 yards, whatever it is, or if he takes guys and Reid catches the ball and breaks a tackle and gets 15, 20 yards. I mean, teams have to adjust if they don't. I mean, Rashid's gonna have 2,000 yards, so it's part of the game. I obviously want to give him the ball and let him make impact the game that way. But the more defenses respect him, other guys get open and other guys make plays.
Can you talk about the job that Wanye did?
I thought he did a great job. I mean, every time his numbers gotten called, man, he stepped up and made and done a great job blocking in the pass and the run game. He's getting better and better. It's a great thing, man, to have guys that can step in and play great football when called upon. That's what you want on any football team, and I'm excited for him and his future. Harold?
Chargers with a new coach, just what have you seen in their first few games under Coach Harbaugh that make you see it's a little different than maybe years past you've faced him?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell first off just how hard they play. I mean, everybody on that entire team, they play extremely hard every single snap. They fly around to the football. You can tell they understand the scheme and what they're doing. And then, I mean, from everything I've heard from Harbaugh, I haven't got to meet him yet, but I heard he's a great coach, a great person. I mean, Alex Smith talked very highly of him whenever he was here and how organized and how he got the team ready to go every single week. And so, I mean, you've seen that at every stop he's been, he's won. And that speaks to him and his mentality and how he coaches his guys.
This is outside the NFL, but you're involved in Texas Tech's NIL, doing some things down there, and we're seeing some NIL things now. The kid from UNLV has said apparently he's not going to play because he didn't get his money. I mean, where are we here? You've seen this from the other side of it in college football. Is this just some growing pains in the system, or what do you think maybe should happen?
Yeah, I don't want to speak crazy a lot on it because I don't know exactly all the details of that situation or really the whole deal. But I think NIL is a great thing for players and a lot of families that maybe not got those opportunities to make that money and be able to make it in college. But they're gonna have to figure out a system, just kind of like any other thing. Whenever money's coming in, making sure contracts are signed, making sure the language is dealt out the right way. And I don't know what that answer is, but there's definitely been some times where money not being paid and stuff like that has affected the play on the field. And these are young kids, man. I mean, I know they're right at the edge of becoming adults, but I don't know if I'd have been ready for that type of thing coming out as an 18-year-old kid. And so hopefully we can find some accountability both ways so that we can make sure that our game that we love in college football stays at a high level.
Sam?
Patrick, obviously, Rashid looks more comfortable in the offense. Can you take us through what you've seen over him over the last year that, he's used that time wisely? Does something come to mind that you've seen in a game that it's just showed up?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's learned a ton. He doesn't make the same mistakes. I always say that, but it's important because, I mean, it's not always the truth, and he learns from his mistakes, and he doesn't make the same mistake twice. And then I think at the end of the day, what I love about Rashid more than anything is he plays extremely hard every single snap, and that's something that can't be taught. You have to have this mentality that you want to compete and win. And so it might not always be perfect. I mean, it might not always be the perfect route or the perfect way that he read the coverage, but he plays hard so that when you give him the football, he's going to run and get whatever's there. It gives energy, kind of like when Pop runs the football, it gives energy to the whole team because of how hard and competitive he's playing out there.
And how much does that change you as a quarterback, targeting him in a game?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously built confidence with him that I can go to him in these big moments, third downs, red zone, and he's going to go out there and make the plays happen. And kind of like in the 4th and 6 when I completed the pass in the Bengals game, is he's gained that trust from me, man, that he's going to go out there and make the play and he's going to compete. It's cool to see, man, because he's still a young player. He still can get better and better. But it's cool to see that all that hard work's paying off.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Brad, you think it's gonna be quicker?
But yeah, I'm
Fire away.
Kareem, did you ever think you'd be back here, given the way it ended the last time around?
Honestly, no. I didn't think I'd end up back here, but, you know, it's crazy how some things, you know, happen and work out.
Kareem, when you left here, and it was repeated by Andy Reid the other day, they said that you needed to get help. Did you feel like you got help? Was that something that you did once you left here?
I mean, yeah, I was very young at that time, you know, 23. Had a lot of success going for me, and felt like I guess I needed time to, you know, figure myself out and, you know, learn. And I felt like it was, you know, good for me to do that. I had an opportunity to go to the Browns and stuff, and that's my hometown, so I guess it worked out.
What do you think you learned about yourself in that time?
What do you think I learned?
Yeah, about yourself, not the football part.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that, you know, I just gotta, you know, think before every decision. I learned that, you know, everybody doesn't have their best interest for me, you know, even family, friends, and stuff like that. I just had to reflect on a lot of things and see, you know, how did I end up here.
Everything kind of went down in 18, and then from 19 to 24 or 23, there was all the success. Just what were the emotions like, you know, seeing your former teammates just have this kind of magical run?
Oh, it was great. You know, I was a part of it, you know, in the beginning, and, you know, I was just so happy and thrilled for them. I wanted them to win all along, you know, and they deserve it. You know, they got great coaches, great players, and everybody, you know, comes and does their job.
What was it like for you not being a part of that as they were winning Super Bowls?
Well, it was hard, but, you know, I had to just, you know, think about, you know, the good positive things. I was so, you know, excited for, you know, Coach Reid to win multiple Super Bowls. You know, I wanted to be, you know, the guy to help him do that too. So I still got a lot of close friends on this team, and, you know, I couldn't be more excited for them to, you know, see them achieve their goals.
Can you talk about you went to Patrick's wedding, and he referenced it, and the coach referenced a conversation he had with you at that wedding. Can you talk about that day, and do you have any idea that it was going to be so big?
I mean, it was just great. You know, Pat and I came in together. We've been real tight since we, you know, entered the NFL. And, you know, it was one of those great weddings. It was, like, perfect. And, you know, getting to see all those guys and, you know, be around them, hang out, and enjoy it. Honestly, I thought it was going to be, you know, I was with Cleveland at the time still, but, you know, if they had the chance, they would try to get me back and stuff like that. So it was it made me feel good. I just wanted to make sure I just keep doing the right thing and, you know, taking care of my family and going out there and showing up on tape.
Pat and Andy are very day by day, you know, put in the work today. But,
Yeah.
you know, thinking long term, what would a championship, a ring mean in the course of this journey to kind of sort of come full circle in that sense?
I mean, that's been my goal. I feel like any player who steps on the football field wants to, you know, get a championship ring. And, you know, it'll be, you know, a dream come true for me ever since I was a little kid. And, you know, I couldn't be more excited to, you know, help these guys defend that title and, you know, come back around here and see all these familiar faces and, you know, family here.
What was it like emotionally for you to come back here with the feeling of a second chance to be part of this?
You said, what was it like?
Yeah, emotionally to feel like you're coming back with a second chance to be part of it all.
I mean, it was a lot, honestly. It was, you know, a lot of emotions. I was very excited, you know, a little nervous and stuff like that. So I said, these guys know me. I just got to go and be myself, man.
What were kind of the first thoughts that entered your mind as you walked in the building?
What was my first thought? I mean, honestly, my first thought is the building smelled the same. Like, I mean, it looks the same, and it was just, you know, brought back so many memories, and I couldn't be more excited, you know, to go play for a head coach like Coach Reid.
Can you take us through the process of, you know, figuring out that there was interest there and just lining up here?
Well, I'm not really sure. It just worked out at the end of the day. Got the call, we got on the phone and talked about it, and was on the flight.
Go ahead.
Just, can you tell us about your conversation with Coach Reid when you got here, what that was like, and what sort of things he tried to get across and you wanted to express to him?
Oh, just, our conversation was good. We just caught up. You know, I asked about my family, how everything was going. I asked him about his family and stuff like that. We just, we just left off. He knows what type of person I am, and he just said, man, you just do what you've been doing, keep your nose clean, and, stay focused, and everything's going to, come full circle for you.
We're going to go around the room. Steve, go ahead.
Coach Reid talked about you coming off hernia surgery last year, fighting back through that. How healthy are you now, and what can you bring to this offense?
Well, honestly, I fought through that all last year, and I actually got that done this offseason, and I feel great, So I'm glad that I was able to get healthy and, not have that nagging me the whole season. So I'm excited to see, being fully healthy out there for, these weeks to come.
Nate?
Kareem, have you envisioned what it's going to be like Sunday back in Los Angeles, putting the uniform on for the first time? And if you are able to play for the rest of the season, just what do you hope to sort of prove to yourself more than anyone else?
Well, it's still hard to envision. I guess once that day comes, it's gonna feel real because it's been a long time coming. I can't wait to put on the red again and go out there with these guys and put it all on the line for them. And I envision going out there and whatever I'm asked to do, just do it at the highest level and help find a way to keep this winning going on around here.
Kareem, are you the same player you were when you were here the last time around? Are you capable of still doing the same things you did for the Chiefs back then?
Yeah, I believe I'm very capable of that still, and I'm excited to go, help shock the world and show them I still got it.
We'll go last couple, Nick and then Todd. Go ahead, Nick.
Kareem, from 2018 when you're here until now, kind of what differences do you see in this team and kind of the culture overall?
I see a lot of talent around here, and they had a bunch of talent ever since I was here, and I just seen the way Pat has grown and matured and became the leader of this team. Because when my rookie year I played with Alex and he was like that, so I feel like just seeing the player he turned in to be, and I couldn't be more happier.
Todd?
Back in 18, it seemed to be a decision made at ownership level to have you not be on the team anymore. Have you take me back to that time, and then you had conversations with ownership to come back here, and what were those like maybe?
I mean, yeah, through that time I was just I would say I was going through a lot, so I really just had to focus on myself at that time, and those guys wanted the best for me and cared for me, and I hate the situation that it came down to, but honestly I feel like it made me stronger, a stronger person, and taught me a lot about myself. So I was able to reflect and learn from it and just bounce back. And then ownership, I'll hopefully get to talk to him soon. I just don't like I don't really know what to say about that.
Matt?
Kareem, I'm sure the last couple of weeks have been a bit of a whirlwind. How did being on the scout team last week just help you get into the swing of things and prepare you for this week?
It just felt good being out there running the football again and playing football. And honestly, that's what you need to do to get, football ready, game ready, is go out there and practice and, make those sudden cuts and finish your runs and stuff like that. So I feel like it did a good job of preparing me, and I can't wait to keep stacking days.
Okay, thanks, Kareem.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kareem. Yep.